I'm back. I'm biased, I'm bothered, and I am always unfiltered. If you are easily offended, this is not the place for you. But you still haven't managed to worthy up. Not to worry, let's get into this mess. When I think of designer jewellery aimed at, the fashion forward woman, I always think of antique chairs. So thank God this family is bringing their antique chairs down to St. George. Where would we be without them? I've no idea. I'm also wondering why Cody is bringing this dry clean suit with him, but I don't know. Perhaps we'll find out. Anyway, Mary is not going to go today. She will be there tomorrow. We also find out that it's actually King Solomon's first birthday, so it's been a whole year since we seen Uncle Stepdaddy Granddaddy Paul just guide him out of the birthing canal. Oh, one of my favourite episodes so far. Anyway, we're off to St. George with these two, or with all of these rather, these two. And Cody is telling us about Warren Jeffs. Now, I will be honest with you, right? I'm sick and tired of hearing about Warren Jeffs. I know, bad guy, right? Anyway, he's telling us that the Browns, they're not like the Warren Jeffs people, but also they're not like the St. George people. They're somewhere like kind of in the middle. Now, Robyn is letting us know that she's still freaked out. Now, apparently, right, she's freaked out because when she was in high school, teachers would make derogatory comments about polygamists. Now, I know that that's a lie because I know that she never went to high school. Anyway, we're inside of this place, okay, this expedition, and of course, like Solomon is here. Now, I've all the thoughts about this, right? Why the hell is she bringing this 1-year-old child with her? Like, it makes no sense. If you think about this, from the jump, right? She's only been there 5 minutes, right? And she keeps going on about this great lifestyle because, like, basically, they're living in a crash, right? That's how she describes it. There's always people there, like, to look after the children, and the women get loads of independence and they can do what they want to do. But here she is, like, with this 1-year-old, like, setting up her business. I thought, just leave me home with the other kids. Anyway, we're finding out, okay, that the stall they have, it's at the very back because it's number 800 and something. And I see that the antique chair made it here, all right. Now, this is like an indoor market full of crap, right? Full of crap. I do like a market, but no, I'm not into tchotchkes. I'm not into any of this shit. Now, Robyn is saying, right, that she's worried because she's worried that people are getting their faces. Now, this place looks like somewhere that your nanny, your great granny would go to just to, like, pass a few hours to look at all the crap that your granny and your great granny, like, that's what it looks like, okay? Nobody is getting into anybody's face here. That's not gonna happen. Anyway, we're meeting the guy running this place. Now, he's called Jeremy Browning, and he's the manager for Spectrum Media. Now, he does say, right, that he did have a few phone calls because people weren't happy that the Brown family were going to be there. And he said to them, listen, they're only selling jewelry. They're not going to be promoting polygamy, okay? So what Jeremy did was he took these people's money because they're stupid and they gave it to him, and then he shoved them right into the back of this place. Anyway, I was wondering, does anybody know who this woman is? Like, who is this woman with the family? Is she another sister like that I'm not familiar with? I don't know who she is. So it's day one and Mary is here. I said, hang on a second. This is day one, right? So yesterday, like Robyn wanted this woman to drive 8 hours to spend a half an hour there. So it's not because she's a pusher. Mary just want or Robyn just wanted Mary there to, like, set the place up for her. Typical Robyn. Now, the stall does pass the Mary test. Basically, okay. Now she does have to do a bit of fine tuning to do it. Of course she does. Now I did notice that they also brought the original book with them. I was thinking about this, right? Because they have a box of these books. Where did they get them from? Now, I think that they probably got them at cost. Like, when the book came out initially, they got them at cost because they were trying to bump that thing onto the bestseller, and ramp up more engagement for it. Like, advertise it a bit more so it would be known as, like, a bestseller book and more people will go out and buy it. But I am delighted that they brought it with them. I think they're gonna need it. Do you know, if I was them, I would be signing copies, like, for a person coming up to sell. I'd say, oh, hang on, what's your name? What's your name? Come here for a second. Come here, and I talk to you about this for a minute. Wait, and I show you this, and I'd be finding a bit out about them, and I'd be putting that in the book, to whoever, buy this goddamn book off me, please. Anyway, now we're finding out more about the Warren Jeffs people. I don't care, right? I know he was a bad guy, but I don't like talking about that. Anyway, so the family are saying that they're nervous, right? And I thought to myself, well, why are you there? Just go somewhere else. Like, this makes no sense to me. But Robin is saying that it was awkward trying to set up while everybody is watching. And I thought, well, welcome to an indoor market, Robin. What the hell did you expect, you gobshite? Anyway, Cody says, right, that when they opened up the doors, that the family were swamped with people. Now, I know that's a lie. I know it is. They weren't swamped with anybody because they're right down the back of this place. Like, people were just interested because they are on the telly, you know. I do want to give a shout out to Janelle here. She's looking very Dolly Parton, I have to say. The woman is looking gorgeous. Anyway, one woman comes over to the stall, right? Now, Robin is giving her this whole spiel, like about the meaning of the jewelry, like, you know, and this is what she made the other sister wives at Christmas. And this woman seems interested, okay? Now she just seems interested in like talking to them. But Robin says that she was talking about buying the whole collection, but that she says to Robin, "Oh yeah, I'm just gonna go like and get the cash," and that she never came back. Do you know what? She probably realized, feckin' hell, what am I thinking? I'm a lunatic. I'll never be able to afford me mortgage if I buy this shit, you know? But apparently Robin was very confused about it. I'm not confused about it at all. But we're 30 minutes in, still no sales, no sales yet. Anyway, I was getting a look at the other stalls, right? Now somebody is selling smoothies and somebody else is selling crepes. There's a very eclectic mix going on here. Because there's an other stall, right? And it's called Miriam's Tamales. I've never had a tamale before, but I'm very excited about something because we're after getting our very first Taco Bell. I've never tasted that, right? But I am looking forward to it. But it's gonna have to be a treat day, right? Because I think that that's gonna be very high in fat and very high in salt. So tell me what, like, as long as it's not pork, okay, what would you recommend that I order in Taco Bell, like, for my very first time? I'm actually very excited to try it. I really am. Anyway, so I'm seeing all the food there. This looks more like a food hall to me than it does like you know, like selling jewelry. It doesn't look suitable for that. And then we see none other than Uncle Stepdaddy Granddaddy Paul. I love seeing him. It just makes me so happy. There's something about that man. Now, I do not appreciate the fact that he actually reminds me of Grandpa Walton. I don't like that. I just like to remember him for well, you know, Bert, you know, I like to remember him for that. Anyway, he's arriving with Solomon. And then I got incredibly bothered because Robin's kids are here. Now, none of the other kids are there. I don't like any of that. I don't. Now, I know it's Solomon's birthday, right? And so we're all saying happy birthday to him. That's grand, right? That's grand. But I don't like that the other kids are there because if you think about this, right? Now, I'm after telling you all the food stalls, okay? I'd love to try all of this stuff. Like, there's coffees, there's smoothies, like, there's loads of things, right? So you know damn well that Robin's kids are getting all of these, like they're getting all of these goodies, right? And the OG kids aren't. They're getting nothing. Those kids are getting nothing. Like, they're just at home, you know, probably having ramen noodles and hot dogs. Like, you know, this is not an exciting weekend for them. Anyway, Robin is telling us, okay, that she's putting in the time and that she's putting in the energy and that she's giving them, you know, the people her pitch. And Christine is saying it needs to be faster, Robin, because I see the people's eyes and they're glazing over when you're talking to them. I telling you, Christine is definitely on Lexapro or something here. She has to be. Do you know, if you've never been around somebody on antidepressants, right? This is exactly what they're like. They say the most unfiltered shit. But they do it without being a bit bitchy. They're literally, okay, they're not being bitchy to you. They're literally just telling you what's inside of their head. I love it. I do. I love when people are straight to the point and just tell me what they're thinking. Anyway, we're finding out what the people in this place have to say. Now, somebody is saying that they would buy the jewelry if they had the money, and somebody else is saying that, like, the jewelry is just way too expensive. So that right there, okay, that right there is their customer base telling them, okay, we're kind of interested in this crap that you're selling, but you have it like overpriced, like way overpriced. So we find out that after 8 hours, they have only sold 4 pieces of jewelry. 8 hours. Bear in mind, right? They're after driving 4 hours to get there, okay? But they've done it twice because Mary came the next day. Imagine how much petrol they're at there forking out for. but we do find out that they're gonna need to sell 120 pieces to even make this worthwhile. I thought that's never gonna happen, Janelle. That's never gonna happen. Even I know that. Anyway, we're on the final day of this expo, and we find out, okay, that it wasn't actually the correct amount because they thought that they had sold 8 pieces, right? But it wasn't because they actually only sold 7 pieces. So we thought, Jesus, you have a long way to go until 120 pieces. But I think Janelle is getting a dose of reality because she said that she'd be happy even if they managed to shift 20 of them, right? I guarantee you, she's thinking to herself, if we sell 20 pieces of this crap, it will at least cover the cost of what Robin's kids ate like off those stalls while we were here. Because those things are really expensive. Like you buy a crepe or something like that, it's about €20. They're fairly expensive. Anyway, I found out something that I did not know before. You know the Sister Wives logo? Okay, well, what they say it is that it's an abstract drawing of 4 women. I always thought it was a dog's paw. That's what I thought it was. Do you know what? They should stop saying that it's an abstract drawing of 4 women. Like, do you know, actually, just say it's for Drake. Just say it's in memory of Drake. That's what I would say anyway. Anyway, we're now hearing from a woman named Susan. Oh, now from the jump, right? Susan doesn't like Cody. And she's saying that she has no respect for him. And she thinks that, like, it's very creepy. And she also says that she hates him. I thought, jeepers, Susan, like, calm down a little bit. Anyway, then we're hearing from a woman named Karina. Now, Karina thinks it's wrong to be teaching kids that it's okay to have loads of wives. I thought, Karina, where are you going with this? I don't believe there's any school that's saying to kids, like, oh, go out and get loads of wives. Probably just teachers, like, telling the kids all about different cultures and stuff like that. She needs to calm down as well. But she also thinks that Cody is controlling. I thought, ooh, I'd like to hear from her now. So we also hear from a woman named Pam. Now she's an LDS person, okay? And she says, listen, the Mormon people used to do that back in the day, right? But we stopped doing it years ago. She's like distancing herself from any of that shenanigans. But Cody says, right, that there's great people in the Bible that had loads of wives, right, just banging everybody. And Jesus did not judge them. And apparently, right, Janelle is just blown away that Cody is saying this. Do you know, the bar is in hell for these women, it really is. But finally, right, finally we're hearing from someone. Now, this woman's name is Jenny, and thankfully, right, thankfully Jenny likes the family. I thought at least one person out of everybody there likes them. Thank God we found her. Anyway, we're finding out, right, that 19 pieces of jewellery has been sold in the whole expedition. 19 pieces. So we're packing up all the crap from the expo. Now, Janelle says that she's convinced now that she needs to pursue like her real estate. I thought, why weren't you pursuing it earlier? Janelle, you're smarter than this. This is a brutal idea. But also, like, she passed the exam, so I don't really understand why she wasn't, like, pursuing it. Now, Mary has gotten hit with a dose of reality because she's saying now that she doesn't understand why Robyn wants the whole family, like, to be involved in my sister wife's closet. She reckons that her and Robyn can manage it. I thought, Jesus, Mary, 19 sales over 3 days. I think you could be onto something there. Anyway, we're hearing from Christine, right? Now, she says that she can see that Mary and Robyn have a great bond and she would like that, but basically she can't be arsed. I thought that is so relatable, it really is. But Robin reckons that to be in a family, okay, and to be in a family business, to get it all successful, right, that they all need to be doing it together. I thought, Robin, this was a successful family, like, before she arrived. Like, they may have been a bit dysfunctional, all right, but I think we're all a bit dysfunctional, but they were at least a family, I mean, if you look then, like, if you compare then to now, I mean, they don't even talk to one another. Anyway, Robin says, right, that she's just gonna pray to God. She's basically gonna find out how to manipulate the rest of the family into doing what she wants. Because she says, right, that it's not just about the business, it's about keeping the family together. I thought, what kind of crack cocaine is this woman smoking? She's off her no. She really is. You don't have to be working in a family business to keep your family together. You just have to be like, a nice person. which she never is, by the way. Anyway, we're home, right? And we're in Mary's house, and it's Solomon's other birthday, which I do not appreciate. Now, I'm glad that the kid had a birthday, right? But not two, because either everybody is getting two birthdays or nobody is getting two birthdays, right? I don't like that, okay? I just like us everybody to have the same. Anyway, Mary is telling us again, right, about Robin's insincere offer to be a surrogate. And then we have to go through the whole palaver of Mary like in the infertility. And it's very sad, right? It is very sad. But Mary is 42 years of age. Leon is out the door pretty soon. She does not want another baby. But Mary is saying basically that she's still undecided. I thought, Mary, you haven't even got the eggs checked out yet. You've done nothing, like literally nothing. And we know from the book, right, that the OG wives offered this to Mary, and she says no, it would either happen naturally or it wouldn't happen at all, right? Even back then, she didn't want IVF. She certainly doesn't want it now, like at 42. She doesn't want to be waking up in the middle of the night with a newborn. Sure, like, do you remember when Logan was born and she said to Cody, do you know what, Cody? I might be all right, like, having no kids. Jesus, that kid is an awful lot of work. Chanel never has a bit of time to herself. She did, Mary did actually say that. Anyway, even here, right? Even here, Robin is saying, right? Like, I want to raise kids with you. And I thought, you know what, Robin? Go and raise kids with Christine. Because truly, Maggie Simpson is only about 2 years old. She's literally only a baby. Like, she's barely has any hair coming in yet, you know? Go over to Christine's house. She has loads of kids over there. Now, Mary says the most ridiculous thing, right? Because Mary says that she'll feel guilty if she doesn't take Robin up on the offer. I thought, oh my God, are you off your nut, woman? Like, you'd feel guilty, right? If you just had a kid that you didn't want. If you deliberately decided, yeah, I'm going to have a child I don't want. I think you would feel guilty over that. Like, let's get our priorities right, people. But I do wonder, right, what would have happened if Mary had had another baby? Oh, fuck it, Mary, go and have another one. I want to find out. I would. Oh, and another dimension, I'd love to find out how it all, like, because I don't think we would have had a catfish then. Anyway, Robin says to Mary, right, that I want to give you the choice, Mary, because you gave me the choice about marrying Cody. I thought, no, she didn't. None of those women had a choice in you marrying Cody. He seen you, he wanted you, and then he just got you. That was basically how their life worked. Anyway, so everybody is there for Solomon's birthday, which I'm not happy about, by the way. Anyway, we're writing out wishes for Solomon. Now, Robin says something that I find very disturbing, right? Robin says that she wishes that Solomon finds the loves of his life. I thought, Robin, you're such a stupid cow. Like, you really are. Does she not realize that some people in the world, like, they might be asexual? Do you know what I mean? They might want to travel the world on their own. They might want to live in a house with a cat or something. Like, that might be what they want. I don't like this, okay? Especially for the child so young. Anyway, we do get some words of wisdom from our very own adorable Savannah, right? So her wish for Solomon is that he'll just have a good future. I thought, be like Savannah, right? In a world full of Robins, be a Savannah. Anyway, I was very surprised by this because now we're putting these wishes on a balloons, but we're releasing them into the sky. That's what you do at a funeral. That's what you do for the dead people. Well, not in a balloon because you'll wreck the planet. Do it in a paper lantern. Anyway, of course, we have to go back, like, and have another look at the cul-de-sac. But I am happy to report our father, Logan, is here. I'm telling you, this kid was having a great time in college. Look at the shape he's in. Look at him. He's built like a brick shit house. I'm telling you, he was down in that college gym, like, just working out, just, living his best life. I hope he was, anyway. I hope he had a great time in college. So while we're in the cul-de-sac, right, now they have these kids picking out the names of, like, the sibling that they're going to get a gift for Christmas. They still have not been qualified for these loans yet. In my opinion, right, in my humble opinion, this is terrible parenting. It really is. Don't be, like, promising something unless you, like, just don't say anything. Unless you have it, like, in your hand to give to the person, don't be promising anything. Now, I do want to say, right? Have a look at Gwendolyn's hat here. It's so Gwen, it really is. I love it though. I love this look for her. So we're getting a confessional from the kids. And Savannah says, oh my God, my heart when she said this, right? So Savannah says that she's looking forward to moving in to the new house so she can just walk over to Christine's. Oh my goodness. Now, I do want to let you all know, okay, that Cody did not wear the suit at all in this episode, okay? He did not wear it because I did look out for it. Now, Leon is saying that all they want for Christmas is the new home. I thought, Leon, stop lying. I guarantee you that that kid has a list of crap, right, that they want for Christmas. I know they have. Anyway, so everybody is excited and looking forward to moving into these new homes that were not even approved to buy yet. I thought, how very brown family. Oh, anyway, that is our recap. I hope you all enjoyed, and if you did, go ahead and hit subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one. Also, don't forget me. Which Taco Bell thing do I get? Love you a long time.